Chapter 15. Give you guys 5 seconds. With that thought, Zhang Liang continued walking towards Lo Ye. Seeing such a stunning beauty, his heart started to flutter the moment he laid eyes on her. Lo Ye bit her lips gently. It took a lot of effort to just pick her long sword, and there was no way she could fight. What was she going to do? She was at her wit's end when Lin Xiu was already walking over sneakily. After soaking in the cold water, his body had recovered quite a bit. At least the burning sensation was gone. However, when he saw those people walking over, Lin Xiu turned pale with fright. These people are too fast. There were about 5 to 6 people, and they were all warriors. Hehe, don't worry, I'll treat you well. Zhang Liang walked over and saw Lo Ye was merely pointing her sword at him, but she could neither move nor attack. This had confirmed his guess. Are you courting death? Just then, a cold voice came from behind. Lo Ye was surprised when she heard this familiar voice. This chap actually dared to come out? Doesn't he know that with his strength, he wouldn't be able to deal with these people at all? Who's that? Zhang Liang got a fright when he heard this voice and turned around. Immediately he saw a soaking wet guy walking towards them. The others were on their guards too as they looked at Lin Xiu. Zhang Liang, rank 2 warrior, good with knives. Overall combat strength is around 1540. Ling Hong, rank 1, warrior, good with swords. Lin Xiu slowly spoke as his gaze swept across these people. Zhang Liang and the others were dumbfounded when they heard Lin Xiu's words. Lin Xiu wasn't wearing a combat strength computation apparatus, yet he managed to accurately measure his combat strength and even knew the ranks. This made them tremble inside. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to leave. If not, all of you will remain here. Lin Xiu continued speaking without any expression. He looked at these people as though he was looking at ants. At this moment, Zhang Liang's face changed. He sized Lin Xiu up but couldn't tell how strong he was at all. From the way Lin Xiu spoke, he must be an expert. He knew that some high-ranking warriors could hide their information and appear just like an ordinary person. With that thought, he was even more frightened. Senior, we'll leave right now. Zhang Liang glanced at his lackeys and quickly retreated. They didn't want to lose their little lives here. Lin Xiu stared at them till they finally left before he heaved a sigh of relief and sat on the ground. You acted pretty well. Lo Ye looked at him and said plainly, but she was also somewhat curious. How did Lin Xiu know the ranks of these people? He was clearly a beginner warrior, and even a rank 1 warrior would be able to defeat him easily. Lin Xiu rested for a while and said, let's get going now. We'll be in trouble if they come to their senses and return again. She nodded. Lin Xiu didn't think much of it, and he carried Lo Ye and ran towards the other side. She was still holding on to that long sword, so it was still quite tiring for Lin Xiu. Boss, I feel like something isn't right. As Zhang Liang and the others were leaving, one of the guys frowned and spoke up. Isn't right? Zhang Liang stopped in his tracks and thought about it carefully. Then his face turned sinister. Great chap! He dares to fool me, huh? Chase and kill them. Lin Xiu was patting as he carried Lo Ye and ran to the other side. That dumbass was actually so easily fooled. Thankfully, he had the analytic eye. Seemed like the analytic eye could analyze the strength of evolved beasts and warriors that were 2 ranks above him. But as for those that were 3 ranks and above, it wouldn't work. After running without stopping in the other direction for some time, Lin Xiu's body was exhausted and he actually fell asleep instantly. Not sure how long had passed, but by the time Lin Xiu woke up, he realized that the sky was starting to get brighter. He was surrounded by huge trees and there were many vines hanging down above them. Also, Lin Xiu realized there was a soft body lying next to him at this moment. He was taken aback at first, then came to his senses after a split second. Lin Xiu took a closer look and wasn't sure when he began hugging Lo Ye. She was asleep at the moment as well, and the eyes of her tender and fair face were tightly shut. Lin Xiu could see those long eyelashes very clearly. She also had a faint fragrance on her body, and Lin Xiu couldn't help but take a deep breath. All right. He kept running yesterday and didn't expect that he actually fell asleep on the way. At this moment, Lo Ye knitted her brows slightly and her eyelashes moved like she was about to wake up. Lin Xiu quickly let her go when he saw that, then placed her against the giant tree at the side. If she found out that he hugged her to sleep, according to this woman's character, she would probably kill him. Getting a little hungry, but there wasn't any water source nearby, and he didn't see any animal either. This made Lin Xiu sigh. He was really unlucky. Meanwhile, Lo Ye had already opened her eyes and her pupils contracted when she saw Lin Xiu. The long sword in her hand pointed at Lin Xiu instinctively. "It's me!" Lin Xiu saw this the second he turned around and broke out in cold sweat instantly. The tip of the sword was already at his throat and was so close to piercing through. Swish! When she saw Lin Xiu, she appeared somehow surprised. She then withdrew her long sword and stuck it to the ground. "You've recovered?" Lin Xiu heaved a sigh of relief and asked. Lo Ye's knitted brows relaxed slightly and she shook her head. "I probably need another 2 days. That lightning leopard counterattack was simply too powerful. The electric current had some sort of energy that could paralyze nerves, and it ran through every part of her body. If she wanted to fully recover, she would probably need 2 more days." Not long after, they heard a sound nearby. Lin Xiu was shocked. Could it be those warriors again? "Evolved beast." Lo Ye glanced in that direction and said indifferently. The moment she spoke, the long sword was initially struck in the ground, immediately flew in Lin Xiu's direction with a swish.